Welcome to Weekly News. I'm your host, Fuzzy Big Toe Jones. Thank you for joining us for another episode. We are here with the after draft recap, and we will just jump right into it. So, out of the 8 teams in your league, there were only 7 that showed up, and of those 7, of course, we have first up, Little Red Fournette. This team decided to draft 3 rookies in its ultimate wisdom, I guess would be the name of it here. They went after Dalvin Cook, they got Leonard Fournette, and they got Kareem Hunt. And this team is banking so heavily on these rookies producing for them, but in years past, they're kind of taking the shotgun approach, which is drafting as many rookies as they can get to hopefully land one that actually performs. Next up, we have Team Yellow Rice. This team overall has a solid squad, which is hard to say about a lot of the teams in this league. But this team decided to just get solid people across the board at the quarterback position, running back position, and also at the wide receiver position. So not much to say other than he did a good job. In my book, he receives a solid B, maybe a B plus. Next up, we have Team Rossi. I like to say Team Rose, and again, another team that did fairly well drafting. A couple of picks that Fuzzy Big Toe Jones probably wouldn't have made, but overall, solid C plus, B minus rating for this team. He did a mediocre job. Didn't blow it out of the water, but solid nonetheless. So good job, Team Rose. Next up, we have Team Travacante, run by a person named Dino. I don't understand about this dinosaur mafia that he is, part of, but I digress. And this is the one team that did not show up at the draft, and that got a decent team because the other guys felt generous. He is the one who has donated $126 to all of you. So next time you see Dino, just let him know. Thank you for the donation. And Dino, if you want to give me a donation, holla at me. Let me know. Continuing on, we have the Funky Squad. The Funk Squad. But funky is definitely what they look like. Starting running back as Terrence West. This is a third stringer on the Ravens. Makes no sense. This guy had the 3rd overall pick, it looks like, because he got Antonio Brown, who'll be solid. But then Ben Roethlisberger, really? Couldn't you do better? This team definitely ranks at that C minus level. He has a solid running back core, but just looking at his overall team, and it stinks. It really does, from top to bottom. But hey, it must be his first year. No. I've heard that he's done this a couple times before. I don't understand, but we will move on. Next up, we have Team Opry. This team, I don't understand the name of this team, as I Googled it, and it looks like this is a team that is about getting a ticket while loitering or while walking and loitering. I don't know. It makes no sense, but it's a dumb name. Also, this team has the number 7, and usually this means that, hey, the first 6 were taken up, but doesn't look like anybody else has that name. Maybe 7 is the place that they decided that they were finishing this year. I don't know. But looking at this team, we have a team that got the best quarterback, that got one of the best running backs, that got one of the best tight ends. And, he really did a great job getting the tops. He got the top defense as well. Sorry, I almost forgot the defense. But then when he went around to get the second running back, the second um, tight end, the first wide receiver, he got subpar players. He got guys, after the seventh and eighth round, and these guys are outside of the top 25 at their positions. Um, so I don't really think he did all that great of a job. As well, when you look at how he drafted too many defenses. And our commissioner, for the strangest reason, allowed it and changed the whole league to accept this number. And normally, when you have adults going into a competition, you don't just give in, and act spineless and just let guys walk all over you, especially when they're this bad. Cool. If they were a great team, I could see it. Yeah, we'll make an exception for greatness. But when you're garbage, it makes zero sense why the commissioner would go about and change the whole league for one guy. Because he should have known the rules. If you did not hear him go on and on and on and on at the draft about how great his strategy was, and if his strategy was so great, he probably should have read the rules to begin with. But I digress. And not everyone selected for defenses, which made no sense. Still, but I'll move on. This team, looking at the overall class of players, ranks right in there with the C rating. Didn't really do it great. Didn't do it wonderfully. They did okay. There was some good, there was some bad. So in week one, this team looks to be scoring the most points, but I think that they saw me in passing and they informed me that, hey, he must have drafted well because in week one he is projected for the highest amount of points. But what he doesn't understand is that it's a projection, and projections change, especially when your team sucks. They estimate high, but then they underperform. So, please definitely talk to me again in, let's call it, 3 or 4 months when your team is at the top, and not down in 7th place. But again, let us know how Mopri 7 does. No sense about the name. Next up, we have Ted Bundy. Team Bendy. Team Bendy, this was one of those weird teams definitely during the draft. He came in not knowing a thing. People suspended, people not playing, retired, wanting to draft them. And without, I guess the people they're drafting being nice, letting him know that, hey, this team, this person is retired. Hey, this person's injured. Happened 2 weeks ago. What, do you not pay attention to football? So another one of those teams that have donated to your league. Another guy you should, when you see him again, give him a pat on the back and a thank you for that donation, because Team Bendy, as they, drafted okay, I'm not going to even, it looks like, 5 years ago, this would have been a great team, but in 2017, this team probably won't make it. But it could be worse. You could be Mopri 7 and really suck, but I'm not going to go there. And last but not least, we have my favorite team, of course, of the draft, Team Fear itself. Similar to Team Yellow Rice, he did an okay job. He got some solid running backs, solid wide receivers, and then he kind of fell off. I don't think he got a good tight end. I don't think he got a great defense. His bench is ridiculously stacked, and probably a guy to go after when you want to make a trade. But yeah, on a scale of 1 to Skittles, I probably give this guy Skittles. Skittles times two. Yeah, he's pretty awesome. But but hey, I'm just a simple newscaster that might not know a lot, but I know a good team when I see it. So you guys might want to watch out for that team fear itself. So I'd like to say thank you for tuning in. Please stay tuned for our next recap after week one. Uh, and yeah, this is your host, Fuzzy Big Toe Jones from with Weekly News. And we're out. Have a great night.